Joining us this week from North Carolina is political commentator and my dear friend from Outsiders, Shemeka Michelle. Great to see you, Shemeka. Now, let's kick off with some good news, or very interesting news. According to Steve Bannon, a poll has shown the majority of Republican voters favour Donald Trump seeking a third term. Here was Steve Bannon.
Republican voters now 53-47 support President Trump running for a third term. I kid you not. Told you this day was coming. Of course.
Shemeka, a majority, 53% of Republicans want Trump to run again. Little problem there, isn't there, that over in America, you can't actually have a third term. Shemeka, what do you make of it?
You know, I'm not surprised that more people would actually want him to have a third term. But like you said, we don't see the possibility because of the amendment that says there are term limits, right? You can only have two, and this would make his second term. So I wish they could find a way. I would really be excited about him having a second term back to back. That's what I really want, because I feel like Biden came in and just really messed up everything that he did the first term. So I would love for him to have another term to see what he could do with the country when he is the president, right behind each other. But I just don't know how they would ever pull that off. But I would definitely vote for him again, for sure.
Well, stranger things have happened, Shemeka. You never know in American politics what might happen. Now, there's this thing called the Burning Man, which is one of those rock festivals out in the desert somewhere else. It's got a pretty dubious reputation for some of the things that go on there. One of the things they have is an orgy dome, which is a giant tent, which I think you can decide for yourselves what goes on in there. But what an extraordinary scene we saw this week. Not only did this massive kind of biblical storm come through, it ripped the orgy dome to pieces. Have a look. So, Shemeka, is this the wrath of God? Is this biblical justice? What's going on there?
You know, Rowan, I think the only sad part about this is there are no people that were blown away. It would have really been nice if the people had been blown away as well and woke up saying, you know, Auntie M, we're not in, or Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore. That's what would have been really nice about that.
Tell me, how much of these sorts of events, Burning Man, and there's a lot of, how much does the kind of, I guess, the religious element of American society, how do they look on these festivals? And what sort of does it play into the politics for Trump?
I do think that there are religious people that look at that and say, this is the wrath of God. But as I've been saying for so long, that I think America on a whole is kind of on a downward spiral, just really buying into degeneracy, that there are so many people that won't see this as that and feel like they can just continue life as is. I believe that they will rebuild this in some form or fashion, maybe not as big.
Well, someone else who's spoken out against, I guess, what he would view as the degeneracy or otherwise of the movie industry. Someone I was very surprised by this one, Snoop Dogg, the famous rapper. He's well known here in Australia. He took his grandson to the movie and then was horrified with all the kind of gender-bending LGBT stuff that was in the movies. Now, have a listen to what Snoop Dogg had to say.
That she had a baby with a woman. Well, my grandson in the middle of the movie like, Papa Snoop, how she have a baby with a woman? She a woman. Oh, I didn't come in for shit. I just came to watch the goddamn movie. Hey, man, watch the movie. They just said she had a baby. They both women's. How did she have a baby?
So, Shemeka, Snoop Dogg's pretty upset there that women can have women with babies and that Hollywood is telling him, his grandson, this. What did you make of it?
I'm going to see if Snoop will actually walk that back. So many times, once people start getting angry and pushing back, these celebrities start to say, that's not what I meant. You know, what I was meaning was, and I love all of the LGBTQ. They start to moonwalk faster and better than Michael Jackson. So I'm just not really buying into it. But I will say this is what we've been screaming for a very long time, that they are pushing things that just aren't possible. And when you have that in a child's movie, there's no reason to confuse these children, but this is what the left does all the time. And they see absolutely no issue with sexualizing things that are for children.
Absolutely. Shemaika Michelle, always great to chat to you. Thanks so much for coming on The World According to Rowan Dean, and we'll speak again very soon.
Thank you.